Hello and welcome to our new reading selection, Old Yeller. As you can see from the story cover, Old Yeller is a story about a dog. Let's first look at the theme, and you can find here at the beginning of the unit that the theme of all the first unit stories is loyalty and respect. What is the meaning of this? And we are going to see in the first story about this dog, Old Yeller. And here, this is the question of the main concept, or the big question: what draws us to people and things around us and makes us care? Why do we care about people and things, animals around us? While watching the video, try and think about what causes sea pollution, what is the effect of sea pollution on marine life, and does this type of pollution affect people? And at the end, you should reflect on why should we care. You can pause this video, write down these questions and try to answer them, brainstorm while you are watching the video.
Eight million metric tons of plastic trash enters the sea from land every year. The equivalent of 5 plastic bags filled with trash for every foot of coastline in the world. Across our ocean, plastic trash flows into circulation, dispersed almost everywhere, but concentrating in huge swaths in the midst of global currents, breaking down into smaller and smaller pieces, ingested by species across the marine world, and sinking to the bottom of the sea.
Anyone can make plastic anywhere in the world and sell it anywhere else in the world. There's no design paradigm, there's no barriers. In order to solve the plastic packaging problem, we need to effectively rethink the entire system. From one which is linear, i.e. take, make, dispose, to one where it can be recovered and fed back into the economy as a valuable plastic material, or one where it is biobenign and it can enter the environment. The ultimate goal of the new plastics economy is to design an economy where plastic packaging never becomes waste. And to do that, we need every single player. Packaging never becomes waste. And to do that, we need every single player.
So, after watching the video, we may think about what the plastic pollution and plastic waste is doing to our seas and the oceans, and how that the plastic waste never goes anywhere and never dissolves in the water. It is only becomes smaller particles, and all these particles and all this plastic waste sinks to the bottom of the ocean. And this what might this cause to the marine life and animals? As you can see in this picture, this is a turtle that was caught in a plastic net, and these people are trying to save its life. And so this big question, why should we care? Okay, please brainstorm and write down all your ideas and share them in the discussion room. The comprehension skill is about the literary elements, and we have here in this story setting and plot. So what is the setting? As you can see in this picture, what do you think? If this is the setting in the story, how would you feel about this story? What do you expect this story is going to be about? This is the setting, and it is very important in any story. The setting is simply, as we all know, it's the time and the place in which the story occurs. Setting can shape events and behaviors, like this story or like this picture. I mean, if this is setting of some of a story, how do you think the events are going to be? Like creepy, this creepy place. Okay, so if this is the setting of the story, what do you think the story might be about? It might be a scary story or a creepy or a ghost story. What about this one also? A ship in the middle of the ocean, like this one. Or what about a playground? How do you feel about these different settings? A creepy forest or a playground or a ship in the sea? If you choose one of these settings or these pictures to be the setting of your story, how do you think this determines the events of the story? So try to use this diagram. Please write it down, pause the video and write this diagram down. The setting does two things, main things in any story: determines some events and influences behavior of characters. Of course, if the events are happening in a ship in the middle of the sea, some of the events, of course, will be different from a house in the wilderness. Use the above diagram to reflect on the setting. This girl and boy are on the beach. This is a day at the beach, and like you see in the other picture here, understanding a story requires knowing four elements, and they are character, setting, plot, and the theme. Okay, so our main concern here is about the setting, and it is the time and place in which a story happens. So the place could be at the school, or in a hospital, or in a forest, or in the middle of the sea, or in our house, in an ordinary house, or in the playground, or in the park. And the time may be during the day, or in the past, or in the future if we would like to write about science fiction. What about the plot? The plot is the sequence of events in a literary work. The sequence of events. You can see this diagram. The first here is the exposition or the introduction to the characters and the background and the setting of the story, and then we go up in a rising action, which adds complications and more events to the story. And then the top of the diagram here is the climax, which is the highest point of the action or the interest, where the very intense scene happen or events happens in the story. And after the climax we find the falling action, which is the action that is a result of the climax. And at the end, the very end, we find the resolution, or how the problem or the climax was solved, and the outcome of the story. Does this happen in all the stories? Yes. A plot and these elements of the plot happens in all stories. Vocabulary. First word is lunging, and lunging is lunge is a verb, but here we added ing, so this is a gerund. And the meaning is making a sudden forward thrust. Thrust means movement, forward, a forward movement. So the meaning of lunging is making a sudden forward thrust with a part of the body or with a weapon, like you can see here in the picture. Lunging for a tossed ball, the dog leaps higher than its muscles should allow. This is lunging, jumping high or leaping high in a sudden movement. Slung. Slung is the past of sling, and you can see in the picture the baby is slung to its mother. And slung means suspend or arrange something, especially with a strap or straps. You can see here this is one kind of strap, and it means suspend or arrange with a strap so that it hangs loosely in a particular position. Another meaning is carry something loosely. Okay, so a child sleeps with a trusting arm slung over a dog's back. And here, nice photo. Speckled. Speckled is an adjective, and it means covered or marked with a large number of small spots or patches of colors. And we have here the picture of the eggs with the spots, or the picture of this kind of Dalmatian dogs with the spots also. We found green speckled eggs in the skylark's nest. You know the skylark, a kind of birds. Nub is a noun, and it means a small lump, and the lump is something like, you can see here, a black dog with a nump of a tail. It looks like something like a ball at the end. Okay. Here, romping. Romp is a verb, and when we add ing to the verb, it becomes a gerund. And here, a gerund or the present participle, romping. So what is the meaning of romping, especially of a child or an animal? Play roughly and energetically. Okay, romping with the kids on the lawn. The dog shows joy with its whole body. This is the picture of a romping dogs, playfully. And rowdy. Rowdy is an adjective, and it means noisy and disorderly. Usually kids play rowdily. The children were rowdy and playful all day. Like this boy and his dog, they are rowdy and playful, jumping everywhere. Thanks. If you have any questions, please post them in the discussion room. Goodbye.